Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Seahawks Recap Show with your host, Ryan Koki. And welcome back to another Seahawks game recap video. And that is it. Week 2 is in the books for the Seahawks. The Seahawks took on the Patriots at Gillette Stadium, and now they're 2-0. But, was that a win in OT? And man, oh man, it feels nice to get the win. It is a win. I'll take it. But man, we got a lot to discuss this episode. Joe Stevens from Seahawks Talk and I did a live stream of our instant reactions, but I thought I'd just hop on here and give you the normal Seahawks game recap video. So without me rambling on too much more in the intro, let's get in to recapping this week 2 matchup between the New England Patriots and your Seattle Seahawks. If you like this video, please consider giving it a like. It helps to know if I'm doing a good job with these videos or not. And if you'd like to stick around and see any more future Seahawks content from this channel, please consider subscribing. That would be greatly appreciated. But let's get to game summary, and it was 23-20 for the Seahawks in OT. And let's start off with the Patriots because they were the home team. So the Patriots had 310 total yards, 125 passing yards, 185 rushing yards. They averaged 4.7 yards per play, 19 first downs. They went 6 for 16 on third down. Didn't go for it on fourth down. Had 66 total plays, 3 sacks allowed, 6 punts, 3 penalties for 42 yards given up, 0 fumbles lost, 0 interceptions thrown, and the Patriots ended the day with 35 minutes and 42 seconds of possession time. On the Seahawks side of things, 358 yards total, 312 passing yards, 46 rushing yards without Kenneth Walker. This Seahawks team just couldn't run against the Patriots. They averaged 5.4 yards per play, had 19 first downs. We went 7 for 15 on third down. We went 1 for 2 on fourth down, had 66 total plays, 3 sacks allowed, 5 punts, 6 penalties for 50 yards given up, 0 fumbles, 0 interceptions thrown, and the Seahawks ended the day with 34 minutes and 18 seconds of possession time. For Ryan's focus players, let's start off with the Patriots. Jacoby Brissett, 15 for 27, 149 yards passing, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. And man, Jacoby Brissett, say what you will about the guy, but he was really doing well getting outside of the pocket when he was pressured and just throwing balls to the open tight ends. That was the big thing from on offensive coordinator, Patriots offensive coordinator, Van Pelt, was he was just getting it to his tight ends, and especially Hunter Henry. But good game from Jacoby Brissett. No mistakes, really. And it was just a very clean game from both quarterbacks. But let's get to the running back and the main stars of the show. Ramondre Stevenson, 21 carries, 81 yards, averaged 3.9 yards per carry, and had the 1 touchdown. And this was the Patriots in a nutshell in that second half. They were pounding the rock. And when your defense gets tired because they've already played a full half of football, that's what happens. That's why having a good power run game is so important. Ramondre Stevenson had a day for himself, and so did Antonio Gibson. I could have put either one of them there, but I chose to put Stevenson there. Good game from him. And let's get to the man of the hour, the tight end, Hunter Henry, looking like Travis Kelce out there yesterday. 8 receptions, 109 yards, averaged 13.6 yards per reception with 0 touchdowns. But man, whenever Jacoby needed a play, he went to Hunter Henry. The wide receivers for the Patriots were basically non-existent except for the guy Polk. I forget his first name at the moment, but he was a rookie and he got the touchdown from Jacoby Brissett. But as far as volume passes caught, it was the tight end Hunter Henry who caught the majority of Jacoby Brissett's passes today. And man, Hunter Henry had a fantastic game. There was a play there either in the third quarter or the fourth. I believe it was the third where Jacoby was dead to rights in the pocket, somehow just threw it up there, and Hunter Henry came back to the ball, caught it, was able to slide, get back up, and run for even more yards. So, Hunter Henry, have yourself a day. But let's talk about the Patriots defense and let's talk about D lineman Kenyon White. Two solo tackles, five assisted, 1.5 sacks, and zero forced fumbles. Man, these guards for the Seahawks offensive line just could not hold a candle to this Patriots pass rush in the first half. And Kenyon White is one of the reasons why this Patriots team was was 1-1 in their games. You know, he was causing havoc for the Seahawks, and he did really well in the season opener versus the Bengals as well. So good game from the Patriots D line. And let's get to a guy that I really like on this Patriots team, and it's safety Kyle Duggar. What a menace at the safety positions they have. Um they have Peppers there and they have Kyle Duggar. What a match made in heaven. 8 solo tackles, 1 sack, no interceptions. But man, Kyle Duggar is a beast. Whenever they need him to help in run defense, he's there to help in run defense. He's there to get sacks. He's there to rush the quarterback and play his style. He's able to do so many different things. He's such a versatile safety for this Patriots team. So really good game from Kyle Duggar. And let's get to linebacker, and it's Raekwon McMillan. I wanted to highlight. He had a pretty decent game. 2 solo tackles, 3 assisted tackles, 0 sacks, and 0 interceptions. But his tackling numbers are great. Helping out in the run game, stopping Zach Charbonnet and the Seahawks offense from running the ball. But he also got his hand in there on some tip passes. One of the tip passes that I believe it was on third down, it was either in the second quarter, I think it was in the second quarter, where he tipped a ball, and that ball was going straight to DK Metcalf, and he just got his hand up, he jumped up and hit it down or got a finger on it, and that changed the trajectory of the ball. And now those are the kind of plays that you need from your linebackers, especially your middle linebackers. When Bentley went down, Raekwon McMillan did a fantastic job backing up for that Patriots defense. But let's get to the Seahawks and let's get to the game, the man of the game. Quarterback Geno Smith, 33 for 44, 327 yards passing, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. And man, the run game for the Seahawks just wasn't working today. It was the Patriots that were just stopping the run constantly. So Geno Smith went, okay, it's time to throw the ball. And he had himself a day with the three-headed monsters that we have at wide receiver. It was just great seeing how the O line has gotten better. The guards have not, and we need to address that, especially Anthony Bradford. He got beat a couple of times and gave up a couple of penalties that weren't really necessary. But for the majority of this game, the Seahawks offense was just coming along. A big pass to DK Metcalf on the second drive of the game for the Seahawks. I believe it was a 57-yard passing touchdown to DK Metcalf as uh, just throwing accurate passes, doing what he needed to do. He was the game leader in this game. So great job from Geno Smith. And let's talk about the running back, Zach Charbonnet, 14 carries, 38 yards, one touchdown, averaged 2.7 yards per carry, had five receptions for 31 yards, averaged 6.2 yards per reception with zero touchdowns. But Zach Charbonnet, great to see. He is what I believe is the definition of a power back. He is our power back. And the thing with it is, I was very surprised that Zach Charbonnet was the only running back to get carries in this game. I was expecting to see maybe him get split carries with Kenny McIntosh. That didn't end up happening. But Zach Charbonnet, although his stats don't look great, did what he needed to do, got a touchdown. Good to see that he's up to two in his career now. It's nice. It's nice to see that, and he just did what he needed to do. Not a great game running the ball, but when he needed to get those first downs, when we went to the ground, he did just that. So can't be too mad about the versatility that was Zach Charbonnet. He even caught some passes that were pretty good. So I'm happy with his production in this game, although I would have liked to see maybe Kenny McIntosh come in there for a play or two just to get some carries himself. But let's get to the wide receiver, and I could have highlighted DK Metcalf, but instead I went with the second year player, the player that I want to have a breakout season. It's Jackson Smith and Jigba. 12 receptions, 117 yards, averaged 9.8 yards per reception with zero touchdowns. But man, this guy is finally getting used. Ryan Grubb is finally he's an offense coordinator that gets the ball to his good receivers and good playmakers. And JSN is being one of those good playmakers, especially in the first quarter. It was something where DK Metcalf was getting a little bit locked up by Christian Gonzalez for the Patriots, and Jackson Smith is just like, okay, if you need somebody, I'm here. And Gino went to him often on the first quarter and throughout this game, and that's why he has 117 yards with 12 receptions. He was targeted like 16 times throughout this game, and he played phenomenal. It's nice to see that Jackson Smith and Jigba is finally getting the recognition that he deserves in his second year in the league. Good game from this wide receiver. But let's talk about the Seahawks defense, and I wanted to talk about the lineman Byron Murphy, the first round draft pick, and two solo tackles, three assisted, a half a sack, and no forced fumbles. But he is a great addition, stopping Ramondre Stevenson whenever he could. The only reason why Ramondre has the type of stats that he did was because though most of that yardage came in the second half when this team was already tired, this defense. But in the first half, they really couldn't get much going. I think they had 24 yards from Stevenson on the ground, and Byron Murphy was a big component of that. That D line, Leonard Williams did really well himself. Jaron Reed stepped in there. Jonathan Hankins is a blessing in disguise from that tackle position, and they just did great. And Byron Murphy, one of the funniest things is that according to Leonard Williams, he is not the sack guy. He's not going to get up in your face and get so many sacks, but he's the run stuffer. He'll get sacks eventually, and those sacks will come just because of his physicality. But there are points where Byron Murphy is just gonna be a great addition to this team. He's already showing up in these first two games, and I can't wait to see what he does for the rest of his career. Good game from the D lineman. But let's get to DB, and I wanted to highlight Rashawn Jenkins, 4 solo tackles, 5 assisted, 0 sacks, 0 interceptions. But man, he can hit hard, man. Jenkins is a guy that I have always known, even with his time on the Jaguars, I've always known him as a big guy that can hit hard. Like he has the physicality to just make it a living, living nightmare for anybody who's trying to grab any kind of catches and doing what he does best. Hits hard, helps out in the run game, does what he can to help this Seahawks team win. And I'm so glad we have a capable safety group back there. But let's talk about Boyamafe at the linebacker position. Four solo tackles, one assisted, one sack, no interceptions. But Boyamafe, congrats on your sack, dude. You got some pressure in this game, and you could have had a lot more sacks if Jacoby Brissett just wasn't as experienced as he is, man. But you guys, especially on those edges, sealed the deal. And Boyamafe, man, oh man, this guy, I love this guy. I loved him last season, and I love him now. And it's just gonna be so fun to watch him for the remainder of this season. However, let's get to Ryan's final thoughts and what went well in this game. The passing offense in this game was great from this team. I love the Seahawks passing game in this game. It was great. DK and JSN both over 100 yards receiving. I believe DK had 127 yards with the one touchdown, and Jackson Smith again 117 yards. Just great to see when something doesn't work in the Ryan Grubbs system, like running the ball wasn't an option yesterday for the Seahawks. So he didn't go away from it. He totally didn't abandon it, but he decided, okay, that's not working. Let Gino carry the team and throw the ball. And that seemed to work a lot better. Again, great play calling from Ryan Grubbs' offense. The defense had some plays in there. One that comes to mind, it saved the Seahawks from going 1-1 on the season. That late field goal block, that last field goal block in the fourth quarter by Julian Love. I love me some Julian Love. He's just insane. I love that guy. He's a great player, and he saved us a lot of pain and heartbreak. And just a great game overall from the Seahawks in OT to force that OT and then win it. But what to improve on? Although I do think the offensive line did play better this week, I still need to see these guards, especially Anthony Bradford, playing better. Anthony Bradford had an unsportsmanlike conduct play in the second quarter. It was going well. No turnovers, no penalties for like the first quarter and like half or like a quarter of the second quarter. And then the penalties just started to get going again for the Seahawks. And it's one of those things. Anthony Bradford again getting beat over this line and over the Patriots D line, and it's not good when Gino does not have time to throw the ball. We saw it in the Broncos game last week. He just didn't have time, and he would make mistakes. But glad to see that the offensive line did better. Just need to see them play better. And for the run game, I know Kenneth Walker, you're without your RB1. I understand that. But like I said in my focus players, I was very surprised that Zach Charbonnet got 14 carries and nobody else got on the field. No, no, no George Halani, no Kenny McIntosh. We know what Zach Charbonnet is. And people, I know certain Seahawks fans, it's the internet. I know they're gonna troll, but certain Seahawks fans were like, oh, he sucks. Oh, he's not that good, Zach Charbonnet. Well, it's not that Zach Charbonnet is not that good and not that explosive. It's that, first of all, the O line did better, but didn't really do much to help that run game. And Zach Charbonnet is not a Kenneth Walker type. He's not going to be able to rumble for 27 yards down the field just in a burst. He's a guy that's a true power back. He's going to get better as the game goes along, but I would like to see maybe if Zach Charbonnet is not getting the explosive yards, maybe try a guy like Kenny McIntosh and use him on the outside. Try to get other players involved instead of just using up all of Zach Charbonnet's strength in this game. But overall, my final thoughts. I thought this was very stressful. This game going in OT, week two OT, man. Oh man, I was looking at that and I'm like, oh please, please. Like I again, like I said multiple times, I don't have expectations for this team, but I would like them to win as many games as possible. You know, I would like them to get off to a hot start. And although this game was stressful, I'm glad Mike McDonald in the Mike McDonald era gets us to 2-0, gets his first road win as head coach. And let me give my flowers, man, to the Patriots. This Drawn Mayo, he is going to be a great coach. I can already see it. You know, him, Van Pelt, these guys from this Patriots organization, uh, coming off the same as the Seahawks in a sense where you had a system for so long. Now it's the new guy's turn to revamp this team, and I think Drawn Mayo really, especially in the power run game, had the Seahawks kind of spooked for a minute in that second half, in the third quarter and the fourth. So, great game. It's always a highly competitive game when the Seahawks and Patriots face off, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Good game from both teams, and let's see if the Seahawks can make it to 3-0 when we take on the Miami Dolphins next week. Anyways, that is it for this Seahawks game recap of week two, Patriots versus Seahawks. I would like to know your thoughts in the comments section down below. How did you feel about this game? Were you as stressed as I was after that Jason Myers field goal went in to OT? How was your emotions? Because I was just like, oh my god, we won it. Oh, like my hands were like this. I'm like sitting here like, okay, I don't know whether to pull my hair out because of how stressful that was, or if I just can just laugh out loud. But anyways, I hope you enjoy the rest of your week. And it's 2-0. Enjoy this, Seahawks fans. This is all new. This is all fun. But let's see if we can make it to 3-0 next week against the Dolphins. Go Hawks, go! And I will see you in the next video. Take care of yourselves. Have a good day.